Hi everyone and welcome to Lipstick on a Rig. Today we're going to be making this very simple throw pillow slip cover. And for this project I'm working with some size 4 medium weight yarn by the Big Twist Value brand. And I grabbed 2 skeins for this project, and each skein is roughly 380 yards. And I'll be working with a size H or 8 or 5 millimeter crochet hook. And you're also going to need 4 of these yarn tassels, and I will link to my DIY yarn tassel tutorial video in the description for you. And I will be reusing an old 14-inch throw pillow insert. And we're going to begin this throw pillow cover by attaching the yarn to our crochet hook using a slip knot, and then we're going to chain 73. And once you have your 73 chains in place, then you're going to turn your work and skip your very first chain of your row, and diving into the back loop only of your second chain, we're going to place a single crochet. And we're just going to place one single crochet in the back loop only of each stitch in our row. So when we get to the end of our row, we should have a total of 72 single crochets. And when you get to the end of your row, you're going to turn your work toward your tail like this. And what we're going to do is place one single crochet in each of our front loops from our chain row. And I am going to work over my tail, but you certainly don't have to do this. It's just an option that you have if you would like to. So go ahead and place one single crochet in each of your front loops, working back down your chain row. And when you get done, you should have a total of 72 single crochets for the front loops and a total of 144 single crochets in the round. And when you get to the end of your row, then you're going to slip stitch into the top of your first single crochet. And we're going to begin the basket weave pattern. So for this row, this stitch where we placed a slip stitch is going to count as our first stitch of the row. And what we're going to do is skip these first 3 stitches here, and we're going to place one triple crochet in each of the following 3 stitches. And once you have your 3 triple crochets in place, then we're going to work backwards in our skipped stitches. And I want you to pull your 3 skipped stitches in front of those 3 triple crochets that you just created. And starting with your first skipped stitch, we're going to place one triple crochet in each of these skipped stitches, making sure we're working them in front of the last set of triple crochets that we made. So now I'm going to show you the repeatable part of our pattern that we're going to repeat around the row. We're going to begin by skipping our next 3 stitches that we haven't worked in, and we're going to place one triple crochet in each of the next 3 stitches. And then again, working backwards in our 3 skipped stitches, we're going to pull them forward, and we're going to place one triple crochet in each of our skipped stitches, starting with the first skipped stitch. And again, it's really important that you're working these in front of the triple crochets that you just created. So now you can see your pattern looks like this. So we're just going to repeat this pattern going all the way around our row. And when we get done, we should have a total of 24 sections of our basket weave stitch. And when you get to the end of your row, your pattern should look something like this. So for our next row, we're going to skip our slip stitch altogether, and then we're going to place one slip stitch in our next 3 stitches. And these are the first 3 triple crochets from our last row. And you want to keep your slip stitches loose because you will be working in them and it can make it really hard if they're really tight. So the pattern for this row is going to be really similar to the last row. What we're going to do is skip our next 3 stitches, and for this row, our next stitch counts as our first stitch. So we're going to skip these 3 stitches here, and we're going to place 1 triple crochet in each of the following 3 stitches. And in the last row, we pulled our skipped stitches forward, but in this row, we're going to push them behind the 3 triple crochets that we just made. And we're going to work these stitches from behind. And I know that can be a little bit confusing, so sometimes it helps just to kind of find that last stitch that you worked in, and then you can locate your next 3 stitches there. And all we're going to do is place 1 triple crochet in each of the 3 skipped stitches, just like our last row, only this time we're working them from behind. And you will begin with your first skipped stitch just like before. So now you can see that we are starting to cross our stitches over like this for our basket weave. And so for the repeatable part of our pattern, we're going to skip our next 3 stitches and then place 1 triple crochet in each of the following 3 stitches. And then we're going to push our skip stitches backwards, and we're going to place 1 triple crochet in each of our 3 skipped stitches, making sure we're working these from behind for this row. And so that is it. That's all we're going to do, going all the way down our row. And I'll show you what to do with your 3 slip stitches when we get to the end. And at the end of your row, you can see here that we have 3 of our triple crochet stitches remaining, as well as our 3 slip stitches here. So what we're going to do is skip our last 3 triple crochets, and we're going to place our 3 triple crochets in our 3 slip stitches, and then work in the skipped triple crochets like normal. And once you're done with your last crisscrossing section, then you're going to place 1 slip stitch in each of your next 3 stitches. And so this row is going to be just like our last row, except we will be working our triple crochets in the front, just like we did for our first row of the basket weave. So we're going to skip our first 3 stitches and place 1 triple crochet in each of the following 3 stitches. And then we are going to work in front of those 3 triple crochets and place 1 triple crochet in each of our 3 skipped stitches. And that is it. We are just going to repeat that pattern going all the way around our row, and we will work our last set in our 3 slip stitches. And when you get to the end of your row, your pattern should look something like this. So from here, we're just going to repeat these last 2 rows, alternating between working behind and in front of our first set of triple crochets. So go ahead and repeat those 2 rows to build the body of your throw pillow slipcover. So when the time comes to add more yarn in, it doesn't really matter where you are in your stitches. What you're going to want to do is make sure you have enough yarn left over to yarn over twice with your old yarn. And then what you're going to do is insert your crochet hook in your next stitch, and then you're going to grab your new strand of yarn. And from here, you're simply just going to yarn over with your new strand of yarn to finish out your triple crochet stitch wherever you are. So as you can see, I was working a triple crochet stitch in the front here. So I'm just going to make sure I pull my tails to the back, and I also recommend tying your 2 tails together a few times and then weaving them down the inside of your throw pillow cover. And I went ahead and crocheted 21 rows of my basket weave stitch. And once you've gotten your 21 rows, then what you're going to do is lay your throw pillow cover down flat so that you can see your 2 folds on the side. So all we're going to do is place 1 slip stitch in each of these stitches until we make it back to our fold. And once you make it back to one of your folds, then what we're going to do is we're just going to chain 1, and we're going to place 1 single crochet in our next 72 stitches. And this should get you back around to the other fold. And once you've placed your 72 single crochets, then you're just going to chain 1 and turn your work. And from here, we're just going to place 1 single crochet in each of our 72 single crochet stitches, working back the other direction to create a sort of square pattern. And once you make it to the end of your 72 single crochets, then you're just going to chain 1 and turn your work again. And from here, we're just going to repeat that last row over and over to build the body of our flap. So we're just going to place 1 single crochet in each of our 72 stitches. And I crocheted roughly 23 rows of the single crochet stitch, so now all I'm going to do is cut and tie off my yarn. And I'm just going to hide my tail along the edge of the flap here. So now we're just going to attach our 4 tassels to the 4 corners. And after inserting your throw pillow into the slipcover, it should look something like this. If this video helped you, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel, Lipstick on a Rig. Thank you so much for working with me, and I hope you have a wonderful, awesome day.